That scar across your face. It's like the desert carved its own map on your skin. Some men hide wounds. You wear yours like scripture. Do you find it draws respect from strangers or pity? I ask because scars tell stories, and the best stories aren't always about survival. They're about what the survivor was willing to become in order to live.
Respect's never free, and pity doesn't buy whiskey. This scar keeps folks honest. They look, they flinch, and then they think twice before trying me. Ain't art? Holden, it's just what's left after men choose cruelty over courage. You, though, you walk pale as bone in a desert sun. No mark, no blemish. A man like you, untouched, did you earn it, or cheat nature somehow?
Greem. Cheating nature would suggest it has rules worth respecting. I prefer to think I embody the rule, that violence selects those who can wield it without cost. Your scar proves you were tested and found wanting, Jonah. Not fatally, of course, but visibly. You carry your failure on your skin. Doesn't it trouble you that every outlaw, every farmer's boy, sees your defeat before you speak?
Defeat don't haunt me. Holden, it keeps me honest. Every scar's a ledger entry. I know who carved it, when, and why. Reminds me not to make the same mistake twice. You talk like you're above it, like you don't bleed. Men who think that way usually ain't been close enough to death to hear it breathing. You ever hear it whisper, or just write about it after?
Death has whispered often, Jonah. It never whispered to me. It pleaded with others in my presence, cried, begged, sang, but never addressed me directly. That silence is instructive. Men like you think scars mean resilience. They don't, Reem. They mean life had to shout at you to remind you who was in control. My body carries no such reminders. Perhaps it's because I never ceded control.
You rode with Glanton's gang, scalped children, filled rivers with blood. That ain't control. Holden, that's indulgence. Men who kill for coin or creed at least claim reason. You kill to prove the world's just clay in your hands. Tell me something after all that carnage. Do you ever see their faces when you sleep? Or does the pale giant truly dream in peace?
Greem. Sleep is the indulgence of men who believe tomorrow matters. I don't dream, Jonah, because I don't require lies to sustain me. Faces fade quickly. All men's do. You carry yours carved into you like an emblem of conscience. Greem, I'd ask, when you wake in the mirror and see that ruin, do you curse the hand that marked you, or the hand that failed to stop it?
I don't curse either. What's done is done. I make peace by making sure the guilty don't rest easy. Every outlaw I put in the ground makes the scar worth carrying. My reflection don't bother. MIT bothers the men who know I'm coming. Question for you. If violence is truth, like you say, why dress it up in fancy speeches? Why not just keep scalping until no one's left?
A killing unseen is an echo swallowed by the desert. I catalog, I collect, I make certain the ledger of war is written correctly. Men like Ozymandias, men like Thanos, they sought to prove their will eternal by spectacle. I differ only in honesty. I do not pretend to balance scales. I glorify the weight itself. Do you not see the appeal?
You sound like the kind of preacher who quotes scripture while robbing his flock. Violence don't need a book or an audience, it leaves its own trail. Ask Gettysburg. Ask any man who's watched a brother bleed out in gray or blue. I've seen war too, Holden, but I don't call it divine. It's mud, smoke, and vultures circling. You call it philosophy. I call it a stink that don't wash out.
A man still shackled to the morality of soldiers. Mud and vultures, yes. But within that is the most honest hierarchy life has to offer. The strong consume the weak. Civilization is a disguise, Jonah. Out here in the frontier, disguise burns away quickly. The scar on your face is proof of that law. Why resist it? Why pretend justice exists when you know it doesn't?
Justice is all a man's got when the smoke clears. Without it, The killing don't end, just circles back around. You say civilization's disguise. I say it's a damn shield. A lawman's badge may tarnish, but it's better than no badge at all. You strip it away. The frontier don't get honest, it just gets cruel. Maybe that's why you like it so much. Cruelty keeps you comfortable.
Comfort is irrelevant. What matters is permanence. Laws pass, badges rust, even empires dissolve. The Aztec, the Apache, the Confederacy, all gone, but their violence catalogued, remembered. Violence is the only permanence, Jonah, the only scripture worth reading. Your scar, my ledger, they're both chapters of the same story. The difference is I accept it, Cream, and you insist on rewriting it with every outlaw you kill.
I know the story ain't finished. You think every corpse is a verse in your hymn to chaos, but I've seen men rise out of hell and set things right. Maybe it don't last, maybe it don't spread far, but it matters to somebody. Tell me, Holden, when the devil finally calls your name, do you reckon he'll welcome you, or run screaming at the thought of sharing a fire with you?
The devil is a fiction for frightened children. If such a creature existed, it would be a bureaucrat in a kingdom of ash. And if he came calling, he would know better than to test me. Fear is his weapon, and I am fear made flesh. Tell me, Jonah, when you bury another outlaw, do you feel closer to redemption, or just heavier with the same dirt you shovel?
Redemption's a preacher's word. I don't chase it. I'll chase balance. Every bastard I put down tips the scales back a little for the ones already buried. Dirt's heavy, sure, but I carry it because no one else will. What about you, Holden, when you catalog scalpings like trophies? Is it for memory? Or is it because you know, without records, the world would forget you fast?
Green, forgetfulness is man's curse. Without records, the slaughter would fade into myth, and men would learn nothing. I preserve truth unvarnished. Blood, hair, teeth. A man becomes immortal only when his deeds are witnessed. You seek balance that dies with you. My work survives. When future generations read of this frontier, they will read of Holden. Will they read of Jonah Hex, or only of his scar?
Maybe they'll only remember the scar. That's fine by me. A scar tells a man, I was here and I fought. Your records pages, bones, tokens, they're just collections. You hide behind them like you hide behind that skin too clean for the desert. Question for you. If violence is your gospel, why never let it mark you? How do you walk untouched while everyone else gets carved up?
Violence is selective. It respects the one who wields it completely. Others flinch, hesitate, doubt. That hesitation cuts them. I never doubt. You see this pale skin as untouched. I see it as proof that the law of violence favors me. Some men are chosen to chronicle. Others are chosen to suffer. Which role do you think you've played, Jonah?
I play the role I was given, same as you. Difference is, I don't dress it up. I'm a killer, sure, but I kill men who need killing. You call yourself a witness, but you ain't neutral. You egg it on, you glorify it. That ain't chronicling, that's cheerleading. Maybe the frontier picked us both, but don't pretend your hands ain't as dirty as mine.
They are dirtier, and I embrace it. You still pretend to separate the guilty from the innocent. That distinction is illusion. The frontier devours both equally. Your crusade for justice is theater for your conscience, nothing more. Tell me, Jonah, when the frontier finally swallows you whole, will you die comforted by that illusion, Cream, or gnawing on the truth you spent your life denying?
I'll die knowing I stood for something, even if it didn't last. Maybe it's an illusion, maybe not, but it beats rotting as a monster who called killing a philosophy. I'd rather be a scar man remember as a warning than a pale giant they whisper about like a nightmare. Difference between us is simple. You want to be legend? I just want to be useful.
Usefulness fades with time. Legends endure. Men will forget the farmer you saved, the outlaw you hanged, Greem. But they will not forget the judge who walked untouchable across deserts, who wrote war into scripture. That is the truth, Jonah. Not justice, not redemption. Violence is the only law, you can argue, but the desert agrees with me. It always has.
The desert does, Holden. But deserts bury bones just as fast as they carve names. You want to be remembered forever? Fine. I'll keep putting men like you in the ground, so the rest of us can breathe a little easier. Maybe I won't erase you from history, but I'll make damn sure you don't get to write the last chapter yourself.